Hi there, today on Black Ordnance Network Emergency Rescue Systems we're going to do two topics. We're going to have a quick video on escape and evasion, and then a larger, more discussionary topic about an important prepping methodology that I think is being neglected. Hi there, Blaine Grayson here with Brigade Ordnance Network Emergency Rescue Systems. We're looking today at a common SEER scenario. You've been taken prisoner, your EDC tools have been removed from you, and you've been handcuffed to a relatively sturdy mahogany chair. What we're going to be looking at today is how to use parts of your secret EDC to get out of such a scenario. So as you can see here, my hands has been quite thoroughly handcuffed to this chair here. The handcuff key slot has foolishly been left exposed northward, so I will be able to effect self-rescue. What they have done is removed all of my valuables from me. However, there's one place, of course, that they didn't check, which is essential when you're trapping a hunter like myself. That is, of course, the human rectum. So all I will do is insert my hand into my rectum. And now, it's important to develop a series of I guess you would call them, it's almost a stretching regime to enable quick removal of your secret EDC, and voila, you have yourself a handcuff key secreted at an earlier date. You will have to resecrete the item every 8 hours or so, depending on your bowel movements. Now, what I do recommend is perhaps starting with a very small handcuff key and working your way up incrementally through a variety of other handcuff keys until eventually you can fit most handcuff keys into your rectum with relatively little stress or exertion. So quite as simply as that, we've extracted our secret EDC handcuff key, and we're going to proceed to unlock the handcuff from the chair. And as you can see, we're free, and we now have our freedom and our dignity intact. Apart from when you have to pull a key out of your rectum. That's kind of embarrassing. Hi, welcome back to Brigade Ordnance Network Emergency Rescue Systems. We are talking today about prepping, but not your standard prepping. This is prepping that you've already done all the getting gear, getting trained, all that sort of good stuff. This is a bit of an outside-of-the-box kind of thought. This is the role, of course, of the reaving marauder. So the reaving marauder is essential in the SHTF scenarios. This is, of course, the thing that we are all preparing for. But then, of course, the thing that we may all wish to just flip a coin and be when it happens. So why not be prepared and know how to sort of run this sort of character, as well as running this more standard, probably more safe and vanilla prepper character. So the reaving marauder is basically the person who runs about the landscape, generally adopts a hastily organized cult as their primary religion, and basically strikes fear into the hearts of all people. When the eventual hero of the story takes his place and takes his mantle as hero, you're going to run around the landscape taking out the reaving marauders and probably running them down in some kind of post-apocalyptic pipe-constructed vehicle. Anyway, to become the reaving marauder, you need a few simple things which I've assembled for you on the table, and I'll adopt the prosternum myself as the video takes hold. So first up, of course, is attire. So being a reaving marauder is nothing if no one can look at you and realize straight away that you are in fact a reaving marauder. So what you first want to do is take off all your clothes, and you want to reconstitute your outfit from many different sources. So you're wearing just normal old shoes like these now. You don't be wearing shoes like that. You want to get yourself some big old chunky black combat boots. They'll as the footwear of the reaving marauder. As you probably found them, pulled them off some soldier that had been killed weeks before. They can have a nice ripe stink to them, but you can manufacture that by just leaving some raw mints in them for a few days before you assume your role of reaving marauder. So you want your boots on there. Next, you want some armor. Now you don't want functional body armor, of course. You want just scattershot armor, so wherever you can find. So I'd say get a bit of cardboard, put that on your torso. Get like one vambrace, one medieval archer's vambrace. Put that on your wrist there. Just shows you that you thought of it, but you haven't attained it properly. So you got your medieval archer's vambraces, and headwear, of course, is particularly important. So the more dramatic your headwear can be, and this may also work in line with whatever cult you've joined in the doomsday scenario that's occurring. But I always find a good old crusader helm most likely gonna send the right messages. You run up to someone without a shirt on, wearing a Crusader helm and a one van brace, they're gonna know you're a Reaving Marauder, that's for sure. So Crusader helms are great and all, but I mean, I know not everyone has a Crusader helm, so you can certainly do some home crafts and make your own equally formidable headwear. So we're going to do that now. And of course, what I've got is a bush pot here. So the bush pot, you find they generally have a bit of a bail handle that comes off quite easily. So this one, I've removed the bail handle, and with just simple application of some 550 paracord, we're going to make ourselves a perfectly formidable Reaver's helmet. So well, let's get into it. Alright, so as you can see here, I've constructed a perfectly formidable and quite character-driven Marauder's helm. So this leaves you open to all sorts of cool apocalyptic nicknames like Teapot Head or a Spout Brain or Spout Face or Pot Face or all sorts of things that the huddling groups of survivors will be whispering about. You know, oh, I hope old Teapot Face doesn't show up and eat our skin like he did last time. So it just kind of plays into all that. So if you can't get the Crusader helm, then yeah, something like a teapot just with a bit of paracord, a quick little home craft you could do with your kids or whatever. You got yourself a nice little Reaving Marauder headdress there. So we got our attire sorted. One last thing, and this is especially if you're going to be wearing something like this. I mean, probably less point if you're going to be wearing something like the Crusader helm, of course, but it's all about looking the part. So what you got to do, you can find some charcoal, you make a small fire, you grab the charcoal, you rub it between your hands, right, and you get your hands nice and sort of charcoaly. You just put bits of it on you. You sort of just get yourself all charcoalish and all that, and especially when you get to, you might want to take off your shirt, get your shirt off there. Of course, if you're doing this as a customer, just put the charcoal, just bits of it, just on your front there, and just makes you sort of nice and weather worn. Folks will be less inclined to come up and speak with you, and more inclined to run away from you, which is of course what you're after, is the Reaving Marauder archetype. So you got your fit and finish, you got your costumes, you got your attire. Weapons. So, of course, Reaving Marauders, they need something to be holding in their hand while they're chasing after everyone, wailing the name of their new overlord or savior or whichever cult they've joined. So, you may also be inclined to go straight with a big knife, or even something like a I mean, this may feel right at first. It's a big, scary-looking axe, and I suppose there's a certain standard charm to it, being a Reaving Marauder and chasing someone with a Viking hand axe. And I get that, and I suppose you're welcome to stay with that if you wish. But what I'd really suggest as a Reaving Marauder is you really think outside the box. How many other Reaving Marauders do you think are going to be carrying a Viking hand axe? Probably more than one or two. However, as a Reaving Marauder, you want to be carrying something that anyone could find. So why not be a Reaving Marauder carrying a pipe wrench in one hand and a gardening tool in another? Again, combined with your teapot head, you're going to get yourself a really good Marauder name, being the wrench and claw guy the teapot had. I mean, these nicknames write themselves. So just think about it. Think about how you want to define yourself as a Reaving Marauder once you get down to business. Wrench and claw, or Viking hand axe. I certainly know which way I'm leaning. Wrench and claw, Viking hand axe. You see, it's even in the way you say it. Just there's that drama there that you need as a Reaving Marauder. So let's get our full kit assembled, and I'll show you the thing how it works. All right. So for your first part, you got your boots on. Leave it all undone like that. Let's leave it all like you didn't even, like no one's even told you how to put a boot on. That's the best way to be. You can still get around just fine with your boots like this, but again, it's all about you want to seem like you don't really care too much, and doing up your boots, I mean, that's the first thing people that care do, so you don't want to be doing that. So for your chest armor, of course, I just found this bit of do-rag, which I just sort of drape around myself, you know, and this will be great once the dirt and the grime and stuff starts really soaking it in and sticking it to my torso. Of course, I got that charcoal that I've wiped all over myself as well. And then, of course, just a single van brace, just for, you know, just to remind people that armor does exist, but just to show them that you don't care enough to do it properly. And then I found a really cool little thing here. This is it's a garbage bin lid. So this garbage bin lid, I mean, it may form part of the weapon or the attire. It's basically ineffective as a shield due to the swivel and handle there, but I mean, it's eye-catching, isn't it? People see you coming a mile away flashing this big old bin lid at them, and then of course you get your weapons, and you could go either garbage bin lid and pipe wrench, or you can go a garbage bin lid and a gardening claw. Or of course, if you want to be a bit more of an offensive, you don't want to be as much to tank, you want to be more about DPS, you get yourself a gardening claw and the pipe wrench, and you just be chasing folk around like this. You just give them a good old booga booga, and you chase after them like that. And of course, the piece de resistance, I'm actually quite fond of this. I mean, the Crusader helm is something, but I'm actually pretty happy with my teapot. I feel like I got my character all sort of sorted here. Let's have a complete look. Alrighty, so you've got your Reaver Marauder weapons. You got your Reaver Marauder helm, which is just ripe for getting yourself a cool local outlaw den sort of leader nickname, teapot, spout, head, or something. And then you got your van brace, which is just one. Of course, you don't want two. Just one van brace, and then just any bit of old cloth you can sort of drape around yourself. I mean, the sun UV rays are no joke, of course, and just something to sort of add to a bit of a drama that's going to progress. Goodness me. Well, maybe the Crusader helm is best. I mean, you don't want that coming off in a crucial situation. So let's go with what we should be doing, and go with what the you know, I'm afforded these luxuries, so I may as well use them. We're going to get our Crusader helm on. Yeah, that's much better. That provides much more of an imposing as well as protective aura. So you got your cloth, and you've got your helm, you've got your wrenches, you got your van brace on. You smeared a bit of charcoal all over yourself, and of course you put on your big scary untied leather boots. So I think that this is a pretty good primer on how to adopt the roving Marauder persona, and hopefully it'll see you through the hard times. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye now.